The Indice library investigates and evaluates data to make building BI easier than ever before. Upload your data, and Indice will automatically build BI components based on the structure and content of that data. This saves countless hours in manually creating database fields, indexes, relationships, and other attributes normally associated with data warehousing. Let's start by loading the sales transaction data from our ERP solution. We'll start with a manual upload, and then we'll later automate the process once our design is complete. Indice reads the data and sets initial column specifications based on the content. The library modeling engine will create new library fields to hold incoming columns of data or map those columns to existing library fields if the evidence in the data indicates a match. Any columns of data not automatically mapped can be quickly done by hand. Indice's powerful and extensible formula language can be used to create new calculated fields or columns. Anyone comfortable with Excel formulas will find this easy to use. Your calculations are evaluated while you build them so you can check your work. Watch here as we create a new column to extend sales quantity and price to a line item total column and map it into the library. With these simple steps, we've reduced the amount of time required by conventional data warehouse tools to get the initial definitions of data tables defined. We've also greatly reduced the technical level of skill required to do so. The Organize Data tab, one of only 3 required to build a library, allows the user to add reporting terms like dates simply by clicking the plus sign and choosing the appropriate fields from the earlier steps. We can see that the Indice modeling engine has already used those initial steps to determine the items most likely to be organized into reporting terms, the business definitions of raw data. With the initial steps complete, we can open the Indice Report Designer inside of the library and test our build so far. Being able to see the results of our assumptions in real time allows for faster time to delivery of BI solutions, since there's no need to first compile or migrate prior to seeing the results. Business intelligence solutions are built through iterative processes. Indice makes it easier than ever before to design, test, tune, and deploy. Closing the designer, we commit our changes and can now add a second data source, this time from our CRM solution, and flesh out the customer information already in the library. As before, Indice reads the data to determine the initial specification of the dataset design and maps to new or existing fields where appropriate. Notice that Indice has determined through the evidence in the data that there is a data equivalence between the customer ID information already in the library and the inbound column of data called customer ID, and has mapped them to one another. Looking at the reporting terms in the Organize Data tab, we can see that Indice has augmented the customer subject with additional properties like customer name. Again, the data modeling engine was able to evaluate the data and the specifications created to date and determine appropriate placement for additional subjects, measures, and properties. Based on the current definition of the reporting terms and their mappings, Indice can determine the relationships between each subject term automatically, saving countless hours of relationship mapping in other tools. The business user or analyst can easily create new relationships or modify the existing ones should the model require it. Once again, we can load the report designer right inside of the library and can see, in running the same report as we did before, that Indice has delivered a solution in a very short period of time, built by a single business user, rather than a group of consultants. By applying Indice's modeling engine and allowing it to examine data through the design process, we are able to rethink and reinvent one of the traditionally difficult and time-consuming parts of business intelligence.